what are the methods to be allowed? Get method to allow. So post method to allow, post method to allow, put method to allow, delete method to allow. We have to just define the method to allow. And we need to execute this, load this by using next. So it will load this cross origin, enable the cross origin settings here. This is very much required in any server side technology actually to handle this. So we need to import the library and we need to define the connection string. We need to configure the middleware. We need to configure the course settings. Okay. Now we have to create API requests. So app.get and the request is /get products. Get products is the request. If a client is requesting get products, then what should happen is function. This function should connect with MongoDB, get the data from MongoDB, and send the data as a response to the client. That means any server-side method uses two objects, request object and response object. You know, request object will fetch the data from the client, response object will send response to the client. And here, first we need to connect with database. Sorry, connect with database, get the data, and send the data as a response. Then we have to use Mongo client. We have to use Mongo client. So that is Mongo client. Mongo client. This is a Mongo client object we created, which is using the Mongo library, right? Mongo client have connect method, connect with URL, and it will use a callback function. If connection is successful, here you have two options. One is connection may fail, and if connection is successful, then it will return a client object. Okay. If not error, that means if there is no problem, else what should happen? If it is error, then console.log, it should show that error, what error is there. If not error, then this client object can access the data from MongoDB and use it. This is Mongo client object. That means what we have to do is, we have to database is equal to client. Through client object, we can access the database by using db command. DB, which database? Database name, Northwind DB. That is the database name. So that is the database name in our MongoDB. So in our MongoDB, so we created a database, show DBS. That is the database name, Northwind DB. That is the database name. Okay. And on this database, that means now this database reference can access this database. So that means in the database, we have a collection called TBL products. TBL products. How to read data from that collection? We have to use a find command. You have to use a find command. And this find command, actually, it can expect some parameters. Currently, find command is not having any parameters like find by name, find by ID, any specific also. Now, no query. Now it should convert this data into array, then to array. It will, array is a function which will convert the data coming from your MongoDB into array, and it will return error and it will return documents. It will return error and it will return documents. So if not error, that means it is successful in reading the documents, then it has to send the documents as response. That means response.send. It should send the documents as response. The documents will be sent as response. Else, if there is any problem in reading the data, then console.log. Console.log. So it should send that error as a response. Okay. So this is the get request ready. API get request is ready to fetch the data. Now let's start the server. To start the server, app.listen. Listen is a command which is used for starting the server. Generally, server starts listening and you make a request. So listen on which port number, some 8080, that is the port number. I can use a different port number also. Then console.log, I will just put a message, server started. And what is its port IP address? http://127.0.0.1 and 8080. That is the server address. So this is node server address. Node application is running here now. In that node application, we created a request /get products, which will get the products and display. Let's see that now. Let's compile this program and run this and see. Let's compile this. Generally, how we run JavaScript files, node, business layer dot JS. And it should show the message like server started. Okay, let's open the browser. In the browser, we need to request the URL and check. So what is the URL? http://127.0.0.18080/get products. So if the connection and everything successful, then it should get the data and show. And it is successfully working. That means now this API URL is returning the data, which you can consume in any technology in the world. That means client side, anywhere you can consume it. You need this URL. You can consume in jQuery, JavaScript, or Angular, AngularJS, anywhere. This is all server side people's job. This is not Angular concepts, right? Creating API, configuring and everything, right? We just created one approach of how do we deal with this. Now we need one more method which can insert the records, update, delete such operations. I will create one more method for adding the record. That means app.post. So I will give the name as add products. And what this have to do? So a function. And this is request and response. Now important is from Angular application, we will send data here through a form, and that data must be inserted into this database table. That means first we need to create a connection here. So with Mongo, same Mongo client dot connect with URL and a function. Okay, fine. This function, if not error, that means it will have error and it will have client. Okay, here we are writing if not error, if there is no problem, then we have to collect the database. Database is through client object .db and database name is NorthwindDB. That is the database name. And we need to insert a record into this data. That means we are expecting data. Data is an object which is expecting the details. What are the details we are expecting? Only two details. One is name. From where that name will come? Actually, you will generally submit in Angular form on a post method. When you submit on a post method, data will be in form body. I think many of you know that. We have to request from the body. That means we have to use request.body.name. Okay. Another is price. So request.body.price. We need to just request these two details. There can be so many details. We need to just request these two details. One is name, another one is price. Okay.